It's all over, and nobody could come up with that moment of quality to make the difference. If there wasn't going to be a moment of quality, there might have been a mistake, but we didn't get that either. Although the goal opened up for Jason Holt to make a name for himself, but Ryan McGibbon was on the line to deny him. Hearts certainly edged the contest and had a penalty shout in the first half. They might reflect on what might have been here, but Hibs have a stiff resolve about them this season, and that's something that has not been said about them in the recent past. Lee Griffiths is saying his possible farewell here to the Hibs fans, because his loan spell at Wolves is due to end. 14 goals. Could well be a fond farewell, though, from Lee Griffiths to Hibs. He didn't get many chances today, not many others did either. The new year Edinburgh derby finishes Hearts 0, Hibs 0.
Well, does Lee Griffiths know something that we don't know? The Hibs supporters will have something to say if he is not re-signed either on loan or permanently after his loan deal expires on January the 19th. The top goal scorer, of course, in the Scottish Premier League. 14 goals for him. Thumbs up and a kiss of the thumb for the Hearts supporters as well. But it was not a night for the strikers. Tremendous support here. No goals, however, a point apiece. And therefore, Hearts remain in 9th and Hibernian remain in 4th. And in terms of the local rivalry, Hibs keep that 6-point gap between them and Hearts. Hearts, by the way, have got a game in hand over Hibernian. There's more live football tomorrow night on Sky Sports. Walsall take on relegation-threatened Portsmouth as it's 7:30 on Sky Sports 1 HD. Fantastic atmosphere here. No goals, but a lot to talk about with Neil McCann and the Northern Ireland manager Michael O'Neill after the break. Hearts have extended their unbeaten run in derbies to 12 in the SPL. But it's 2 without defeat in the SPL for Hibs, which is a big step forward for them. Analysis is next. Happy New Year from Edinburgh, where in the traditional New Year City derby between Hearts and Hibernian, it finished goalless at Tynecastle Park. But there were chances, particularly in the second half, but neither side could make the breakthrough. It was a night for defenders. But in the end, Hearts maintained their amazing run of 12 SPL derbies without defeat. Hibs, however, are undefeated in 3 league and cup ties against their rivals. Let's hear from Hibernian's Ryan McGivern.
Ryan, from a Hibs point of view, what did you make of that?
Obviously, it wasn't the best of the game, footballing-wise. The pitch wasn't great, but as derby games go, it was going to be a battle, and I think that's what it was out there, and I think maybe a draw was a fair result. Owen Doyle had that chance. Do you think he should have hit the target? Yeah, well, he got himself in a good position. I think he'll be disappointed himself that he didn't hit the target, but as I said, he's been fantastic and he's carried us and scored plenty of goals this season, so we'll let him off for that one.
What were you thinking? What was going through your head re that block that you made from Jason Holt's shot?
I just see he ran through and he cut in, past the defender, and I knew he was going to have a free shot and goal, so rather than go to the ball, I thought I'll try and read his mind and get in front of the goal and get a block, and lucky enough it came off me.
Did you make an impression in front of your international manager tonight?
I'm not sure. I'm sure, as I said, he's probably seen better games of football, but I said hopefully he enjoyed the game and did okay.
Well done, Ryan. Thanks.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, the international manager Luke Shanley referred to there is Michael O'Neill, the Northern Ireland manager. He's with us tonight along with Neil McCann. Michael, it wasn't the game that we wanted. What is your view of what we saw tonight in this derby?
Well, I think it was, I suppose in the end it was disappointing from a spectacle, a 0-0. Obviously we hoped for more than that. We hoped for more chances, more attack and play. I think Hearts had the better of the game. I think if you look at the two managers, Pat will probably be the happier to get out of here with a draw. I don't think he'd be kidding himself thinking that they played well, but his team were committed and they gave a lot of effort, but there wasn't that much play in the game at all. And as I say, from a territorial point of view, Hearts were certainly the better side, and I think John will be disappointed just to draw the game.
It seemed, Michael, as if it was both managers seemed that they just didn't want to lose the game. Rather than going to win the game, they just felt as if it looked as if I'll be happy with a draw from the outset.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was at Pittodrie yesterday where there's 2-2 Dundee United and Aberdeen, and both teams went at it, and even in the last sort of 20 minutes to go, both teams were actively trying to win the game, and today was the opposite of that, really.
Totally opposite, yeah.
I think Hearts pushed it in the end to try and win the game, obviously more potentially than Hibs did, but yeah, there was an air of caution tonight, I think, from both managers.
Are you saying it was 0-0 or a draw by design?
Well, I think you set your stall out to not be beaten, certainly, particularly if you come away from home and you hope that maybe the likes of Griffiths or Doyle can get you something on the counter-attack. I think Hibs are a better team when they are counter-attacking, but I felt tonight that they just never got the right type of service to any of their front players. The one bit of quality in the game, Kearney picked out Doyle, and that was probably the best chance that Hibs had, but obviously he missed the target.
And promptly was substituted, young Kearney. What about the Hearts' chances in the second half? Should Ryan Stevenson have scored in that effort that looked reminiscent of Billy Bremner's chance against Brazil way back in '74?
Well, Mehdi Toure, with past remarks, he was possibly the one player on the Hearts side that was trying to get his foot in the ball and trying to make passes, and that was severely lacking throughout the match. And I think Ryan Stevenson must be thinking, I've got a tap in here, but full credit to Ben Williams, because he spills the first one, and as young Dylan McGowan goes in to tap it home, he gets a leg to it, and it just catches Ryan Stevenson's standing leg. He's expecting just to roll back to him to tap into an empty net, but Ben Williams did ever so well, and so did Ryan McGowan here, because his interview had suggested that he'd been taken out the play, so what does he do next? The next port of call is go and cover your goalkeeper. And he gets a break by taking a gamble, because maybe Holt could have slid one down the side, but he did fantastic to block it. And
This is the corner.
This is the corner coming in, Michael. And you passed remarks that Ben Williams missed a couple of these.
Yeah, I think Hearts maybe 12 or 13 corners. I think the consistency of their delivery wasn't great, but that was one of the better deliveries. Sutton is kind of behind him a little bit, manages to get his head on it. And I think of those, the situations that you see there, probably, Hibs got the wee bit of rub of the green that they needed tonight. Should
Owen Doyle have scored?
Well, it's a great chance, here, as I say, Kearney does fantastic here because his vision and awareness is superb. Weight of pass, it's drilled in there. Doyle's onto it. Defender does well, but I think here he's got to really focus to try and hit, across the goalkeeper and try and hit the far side netting, and it's a wild attempt in the end. And as I say, he's got to at least work the goalkeeper. This chance here is a good delivery. Young Witherspoon who come on, gets across the front post area, and again was a good opportunity. And again, Doyle here cutting in from the right hand side. It's a weak enough shot, but actually
it's great defending, Michael.
It's good defending,
because
actually.
It takes a touch as it just comes in, as we'll see here, and I thought he was just rolling it right into the path of Griffiths, but tell you what, he's taking no second prizes there.
Yeah.
He's saving the day for Hearts, and it's a wonderful block for young Dylan.
And it's a boost for Hearts, given that one
McGowan steps out.
McGowan is in China tonight, and his brother
absolutely.
stepped in. I wonder what the Hearts manager's thinking. John McLean is with Luke.
John, should you have won that game tonight?
Well, I think so, on possession and opportunities. Hibs had a couple of good opportunities, but I think for every one of them we had probably two. So I thought we played good football. I thought we tried to pass the ball. I thought we got the ball into great areas, and I think we're a bit unlucky. I think we did deserve to win the game.
Should you have had a penalty in the first half?
We felt we did. I've not seen it again, so it's very difficult to say, but it looked like when Scott went for the ball, the players came right through him, so at the time I thought it was a penalty. I haven't seen it again. TV evidence might suggest something different, but that's how I thought it was at the time.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. Well, let's answer John's question now. Are either of you in any doubt that Hearts should have had a penalty kick in the first half?
Yeah, listen, we seen one of these up at Dundee United, and it was Willie Collum who was refereeing that day as well. Now, if Willie thinks that this is a challenge and it's a penalty, which I believe it is, he must have given advantage to Andy Driver to let him go and have a shot. Now, at Dundee, he let John Daly have the shot and then pulled it back for a penalty. So, to my mind, I don't think he's deemed that as a penalty, because we're talking about consistency here from referees and officials. Now, if he's given advantage to Andy Driver to go through and have a shot on goal, which possibly could have been the case, then if he's not scored like John Daly at Dundee, then he should have brought the ball back and given Hearts a penalty.
And the linesman's on that side of the field as well, actually, so he has a clear view. Maybe it's difficult to see there where Willie Collum is.
It's a rash challenge, isn't it, Michael?
It's a very rash challenge. If you see it here, Willie Collum, maybe his view is slightly obscured, but James is very rash there. He's off the ground. You look at the view that the linesman has there. If you see across, it's clear that there's contact. There's no one between the linesman and the Hearts player. And for me, it's a penalty kick. And Hibs were fortunate on that occasion. And Hearts will
could better not do that playing for Northern Ireland.
No, well, I would hope not. But as I say, he defends. he defends with his heart in his sleeve. James, that's the way he plays. At times he's a little bit rash, but certainly in the box, you would be hoping that he may be a little bit more composed.
Well, let's hear what his club manager is saying to it all. Pat Fenlon is with Luke Shanley.
Pat, is that what we call a hard-fought derby?
Well, certainly hard fought from our point of view. We had to defend really well, which we did. I thought it was a battling performance rather than anything classic from us, but maybe the game on Saturday has took a little bit of a toll on some of our lads. We put in a hell of a shift on Saturday to beat Celtic, and then coming here was difficult, but you have to give them great credit. We played the 2 games, haven't conceded a goal. And we were under a little bit of pressure tonight.
Should Owen Doyle have hit the target though when he was through?
Yeah, he's disappointed in their own. Like I said, they probably had a lot of balls into our box. They probably had one real clear-cut chance. I think when Ryan cleared it off the line, we probably had a good chance with Doyle when he's through. Just to be a little bit calmer maybe when he gets into that position.
You satisfied now going into the second half of the season?
Yeah, I'm delighted. Well, I think, first half of the season, where we were last year as a club to where we are now, it's no comparison, and we showed great desire tonight and real battling qualities as well.
Thanks, Pat.
Cheers.
Battling qualities, would you like to have seen a little bit more in terms of football from Hibernian tonight?
I'd have loved to have seen more football throughout the match from both sides.
Yes.
And that's what you get when you're playing with one up sometimes. And I suggested there at both managers, I felt, with due to their lineups and how the game was going, we're happy with a point from the outset. There was no barking orders to get the ball into midfield and be brave and try and make something happen. We know it's congested and you don't want to give up the midfield area, but so many times the ball was getting banged up to Griffiths long and it was coming straight back. It was getting banged up to Sutton.
If you see as well,
it's just not good enough.
A feature of the game is that I can't remember on one occasion where the goalkeeper threw the ball out to start the game, and they're playing only against one lone striker. You end up with a very congested midfield area. Typical here as we see examples of it, back to front, Sutton fighting and McPake and Hanlon both going for the same ball there. And again, now the ball's back the other end, Griffiths chasing things down, and that little pattern, that was pretty much the pattern of the game for the vast majority of the game. I thought second half at times Hearts got the ball wider a wee bit better. Yep. We saw a wee bit more from Driver and
look at this straight from the second half. I can't believe that.
The ball's just been
that baffles me.
Knocked into an area, and I think that was the sort of, I suppose, the mindset that, as the game wore on, the players got less and less inclined to want to take a risk in possession of the ball, less inclined to take a touch, and subsequently, obviously, we got what we saw tonight.
Point each, fair in the end?
Yeah, definitely. 2 teams, full endeavour. And I tell you, it was perfect conditions tonight, but we just never seen enough quality, so both managers will be happy with a point.
Neil, thanks to you. Michael, thanks to you as well, and best of luck with Northern Ireland. Now stay with us here on Sky Sports 1 HD, because the Footballers Football Show is next. Guests included Chris Coleman, the Wales manager. So it was New Year in Edinburgh, 0-0, a draw, and we all leave as friends on Derby night. Enjoy the SPL break. Bye for now.
Watch all 6 Sky Sports channels on your mobile and online.